నమస్కారం ప్రేక్షకులందరికీ దసరా పండుగ శుభాకాంక్షలు. జ్యువెలరీ ప్రపంచంలో యూనిక్ డిజైన్స్ ని డిజైన్ చేస్తూ సినిమా ప్రస్థానంలో కూడా అడుగుపెట్టి తనదైన మార్కు చూపిస్తున్న జ్యువెలరీ సంస్థ అమరపాలి జ్యువెల్స్. అంటే ఇప్పుడు మనం బాహుబలి సినిమా చూసినప్పుడు ఆ సెట్టింగ్స్ అవన్నీ మనకి ఎంత మెస్మరైజ్గా అనిపిస్తాయి. అందులో అనుష్క వేసుకునే ఆ జ్యువెలరీ, అక్కడ కనిపించే ప్రతి జ్యువెలరీని కూడా డిజైన్ చేసింది మన అమరపాలి జ్యువెల్స్ అనమాట. అండ్ ఈ రోజు మనతో పాటు ఉన్నారు CEO అండ్ క్రియేటివ్ డైరెక్టర్ ఆఫ్ అమరపాలి జ్యువెలరీస్ తరంగ్ అరోరా. సో ఆయనతో మాట్లాడి ఆయన ఈ జ్యువెలరీ ప్రపంచంలో ఎలా అడుగుపెట్టారు, అసలు ఎక్కడ స్టార్ట్ చేశారు, ఎలా వెళ్తున్నారు, యూనిక్ డిజైన్స్ కి ఇన్స్పిరేషన్ ఎవరు, అలాగే సినీ ప్రస్థానం గురించి ఆయన మాటల్లోనే తెలుసుకుందాం. రైట్, ఈరోజు మనతో పాటు అమరపాలి జ్యువెలర్స్ CEO అండ్ క్రియేటివ్ డైరెక్టర్ తరంగ్ గారు ఉన్నారు. మాట్లాడేద్దాం. నమస్తే సార్, హౌ ఆర్ యూ, ఎలా ఉన్నారు?
Very good, how are you?
సో ఫస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్ హైదరాబాద్ మిమ్మల్ని ఎలా ట్రీట్ చేస్తుంది?
It's always a pleasure to be in Hyderabad. It's one of my favorite cities, I think.
థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్ ఫర్ యువర్ వాల్యుబుల్ టైం. ఎందుకంటే మీరు చాలా బిజీ స్కెడ్యూల్ ఉంటుంది. సో మా కోసం టైం స్పెండ్ చేసి ఇక్కడ కూర్చుని మాతో మాట్లాడడానికి రెడీగా ఉన్నందుకు థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్. అలాగే ఫస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్ హ్యాపీ దసరా.
You too, and happy Dashara to everyone watching this.
So what was it like to grow up with Amrapali legacy with you?
I think just growing up and seeing jewelry and art and creativity around me was something which I really enjoyed. You know, you always see when you're in this atmosphere, you see where do people around you take their inspiration from. When I saw my father and uncle working in and creating this brand, I always noticed how they were inspired by maybe a sari, maybe the architecture, a lot to do with the south part of the country also. So I think all these things really made me very something which I really enjoyed. It made me love what Amrapali brand was being built when it was built and being part of it.
So as a CEO and creative director of Amrapali Jewelers, so ante ట్రెడిషనల్ క్రాఫ్ట్మెన్షిప్ విత్ మోడర్న్ డిజైన్స్ని ఎలా బ్యాలెన్స్ చేస్తున్నారు మీరు?
So we've always had what we take pride in our jewelry making is to keep the real essence of India, keeping the real art forms of India, be it from Rajasthan, be it from the south part, be it from the east part. We try and keep be it from Jammu Kashmir, the long earrings. So the traditional part has to always be there in our design. What we see more and more is the Gen Zs and the next generation also liking and loving more modern pieces, more wearable pieces, because sometimes traditional pieces are very big and sometimes they're not wearable as much other than on a traditional outfit. That is where we work closely today. We take those old techniques, those old ways of making jewelry from hand and incorporating all the ways of making it light, making it wearable today, and especially making it modern. The challenge always for us is to create something where something can be worn on Indian outfit and on Western outfit, and that is the right combination we always try and find.
సో రాజీవ్ అరోరా అండ్ రాజేష్ అజ్మేర్ అమర్పాలి జ్యువెలర్స్ని 1978లో స్థాపించడం జరిగింది. సో హౌ డస్ అమర్పాలి జ్యువెలర్స్ రెజోనేట్ గ్లోబల్లీ బై ద ఇండియన్ DNA?
I think what I was telling you about the traditional craftsmanship is the most important for us, and starting that in 1978 by two students at that time, it was just a hobby or a business which was done in a hobby manner. It was never thought that it will be what it is today. Their idea was something to love the art and culture of our country. How one can get involved and get inspired in art and culture of the country. Someone could be inspired and become an architect, someone can become a textile designer, someone can become furniture designer. For them, their way of loving the art and culture of the country was going into jewelry. I think that is very important, because that is what Jaipur was also known for, or is known for, is jewelry making, is stone cutting. So they found that atmosphere. They were both history students, so they wanted to make sure that whatever they do, they preserve the history of the country. And that is how this whole brand started. Unknowingly, it became a brand. It was just a little shop name, and that is when now we are in multiple parts of the country and of the world. We have just opened a new store in Dubai. We have been in London. We have been in Harrods, in Selfridges in London. We have been in America, in Neiman Marcus. So I think taking the DNA of Indian history, taking the DNA of Indian jewelry making is what my father Rajiv Arora and my uncle Rajesh Ajmera did, and has taken this across the world.
So your brand has a globally presence with unique styles. So what does Amrapali Museum play in its brand vision?
So Amrapali Museum is a museum out of Jaipur. Again, it is a private collection of both the founders of the business. When they got into the jewelry business, they had no formal knowledge of jewelry making or jewelry designing. They were both students of history. They, as I said, wanted to preserve the Indian culture. They wanted to learn about jewelry and jewelry making and jewelry designs, which they could not find anywhere. And they always thought that someday, if we are successful, we will establish a place where young designers, young entrepreneurs, people traveling from across the world and people from India who want to know about their own country, about their own jewelry, can find. And that is what Amrapali Museum came into their mind. What I feel till today is that Amrapali Museum is such a passion-driven part for them, that because creating, collecting and making sure they have enough for the museum, they have enabled the business to what it is today. Always going into the old markets, trying to scout old pieces, people coming to them from across the country to sell them pieces which they then acquire and put them in the museum, is something which they have always enjoyed and loved, and has become the DNA and the base of our brand today.
So your jewelry is handcrafted by skilled artisans. As a creative director, so ఒక మెమరీ ఏదైనా షేర్ చేసుకోవాలంటే మీ డిజైన్స్ గురించి ఏం చెప్తారు?
So I think something which I can share is something to do with the museum. When I was a little child, my father got this bowl of water, or a silver bowl, which is called a Vasudev Patra. And Vasudev Patra is a bowl where there is you pour water. There is Vasudevji in the middle, and there is baby Krishna on the top of Vasudevji. We all know the story of Vasudevji crossing Yamuna with Krishna on his head. The most beautiful part about this bowl was that you fill water in it. The water goes all to the top. The moment it touches the toe of baby Krishna, the water starts leaking. The water will not empty from the bowl until it touches the point where baby Krishna's toe is touched. This fascinated me a lot as a child. I may be 6-7 years old when I saw this. This fascinated me not just because this was pure magic for a kid, but it was science. It was beautifully made, and the most important part was that it had history and it had a beautiful story. I think these are the very important things which I learnt that day, even as a child, maybe subconsciously, that to create any piece, to create a brand, to create a piece of jewelry also, you need, of course, a great product. You need it needs to be scientifically made very well, that it's wearable, and third, that it needs to be highly creative. And I think this is what I've always kind of put together when designing jewelry and telling my design team also.
So as a CEO and creative director of Amrapali Jewelers, అంటే మీ జ్యువెలరీస్ అంటే చాలా యూనిక్ స్టైల్స్, ఎందుకంటే ఇండియాలోని ద రిచెస్ట్ జ్యువెలరీ అనగానే మీ అమరపాలి జ్యువెలరీస్ గుర్తొస్తుంది. సో ఈ ప్రాసెస్లో, ఈ ట్రావెలింగ్లో మీరు ఫేస్ చేసినటువంటి ఆ ఛాలెంజెస్ ఏంటి?
I think the biggest challenge for us is to restore karigari, to restore our culture, to restore craftsmen. You know, today it is so easy for any craftsman or the next generation of craftsmen to go and get a white collar job and work in an insurance company or a finance company, and to make them realize that what they have from their family generations is something which is outstanding. They should cherish it, they should learn it, and once they know this art, they should make sure that the next generation is also there. So preserving art and making sure the next generation knows is something which we always try and do at Amrapali, and is something which is a very big challenge in our industry, I feel.
So let's talk about your jewelry usage in filmmaking. లైక్ అంటే మీరు ఎలా దాన్ని ఎక్స్ప్రెస్ చేయగలరు, లైక్ కొలాబరేషన్ విత్ ట్రోల్ మూవీ, ఆ జర్నీ గురించి ఏం చెప్తారు?
So working with Hollywood was very mesmerizing. I was not involved in business in those days. I was still studying in London. But what I know is that they came to India. They wanted to get pieces for the movie which looked or which were inspired from that mythology, Greek time period, and where what they were imagining they could find at Amrapali. Hence the team came, they explored our collections, and then we created collections together for the movie specifically. I think the most beautiful part is that doing something like this for a international production house also, and using something which is from Jaipur, and also it shows that anything which was to do with period, it all was the same. You know, you can use the flower made in India and make it very similar and present it in a very similar way as Greek, because there were limited tools back in the day. There were limited ways of making jewelry back way. So there was a lot of overlap, and the traders were also moving continuously. So they were bringing things from one place to the other. So people knew their inspiration also. So I think there was a very good sense of collaboration back in the day, unknowingly, which was happening between civilizations across the country, across the world.
So you have been part of the biggest blockbuster movie Bahubali.
Yes.
And మీరు ఆల్మోస్ట్ 1500 పీసెస్ని స్పెషల్గా డిజైన్ చేయడం జరిగింది. సో మీ టీమ్ మీరు ఎలా కలిసి వర్క్ చేశారు? హౌ యూ మేనేజ్?
We are working on a project which is maybe 5 times bigger than Bahubali right now. I have been saying that it feels like we are doing 10 movies, but when we are doing historical movies, the most important part is to know the character, to sit with the script and learn and understand what the character's life is about. When does the character is a 21-year-old girl, when she becomes, she is a princess, then she gets married, then she becomes the mother. So in all these different aspects of her life, jewelry is also regularly changed. So for the same character, you have to explore many different looks and feels depending on what she is, in which kind of moment she is. So I think Bahubali was definitely very challenging, and a lot of hard work by the team, and I think we pulled it off. And I think something, when you do challenging, then you also realign yourself to your new upper limit. So maybe I thought I can do only 500 designs, but because of Bahubali we could do 1500 designs. I think this now makes the new normal. For now the new normal is 1500, so now it's more challenging to do something else. So I think that is how one gets new challenges in life as well.
If we have talk about Devasena character in Bahubali,
Yeah.
so what kind of historical and cultural research done for it?
So I think this is not just for Devasena. Yes, it is a more iconic character. Of course, the jewelry has to be very elaborate, the jewelry has to be very grand, but every single character we need to do this much detail, which does not get noticed. What gets noticed is the 1 or 2 or 3 important characters, but the 15 characters in the movie are all very important in their own places, and all their jewelry has to be designed according to their character.
So let's talk about Bollywood movie Ram Leela, which was Gujarati kind of setting. So how you work about it? Ante enta workout chesaru mee team anta adanta different tone of movie kada.
So I think they because Gujarat and Rajasthan has such a overlap in terms of the tribal look, in terms of the fabrics you see, the colors you see, the even the clothing has a lot of mirror work. So the jewelry also reflects that. That's why a lot of our jewelry was used in the movie as well. A lot of big earrings, understanding which goddesses work. So I think and a tribal look. And I think, of course, with tribal look, whenever someone thinks of Indian jewelry with tribal look, the first name comes to their mind is Amrapali. So I think that is what we have always done, and we were able to do very well with that movie.
So coming to recent projects of yours in Netflix, the web series called The Royals, ప్రతి ఫ్రేమ్ కూడా చాలా రిచ్గా ఉంది అబౌట్ యువర్ జ్యువెలర్స్. సో ఆ టీంతో ఆ కొలాబరేషన్ కానీ వర్క్ చేయడం కానీ ఏం చెప్తారు?
The Royals was very, very interesting. It was shot in Jaipur. It was shot in the City Palace. We are very close to the family, the royal family of City Palace. So we go there quite often. Also, we seeing that this palace is having this shoot, and the actors were coming there, and it was very nice because it was in our home ground. So doing jewelry for them was something but obvious that if it's going to be the coronation of the Maharaja, it has to be with Amrapali. There's a surpage which even when the series start, there's a surpage which keeps coming on the table, on the desk, on the table, and he's wearing it at the coronation also, and the necklaces. I think that was the most iconic look. Of course, jewelry making is very important in Jaipur. And we are the biggest emerald cutting center in the world. I think that is what I really wanted to also show through this series. If you see the main look, it's with emeralds and the emerald kilangi, and I think that's what we have kind of showcased there.
So in your film career, which is that project so creatively satisfied you?
I think creatively fulfilling project is happening right now, hopefully. So we are working on a project which is going to be a very, very big historical movie. It will be launched in 2 parts, one in 2026, one in 2027. I think there hasn't been a movie which has been shot at this level, and I think we are very honored to be a part of the team to be able to create something. I think when you say what is the project which is creatively fulfilling, I think that is going on right now. The moment it happens, then something else will become the next project. So I think the whole idea with creativity is that if you want the creativity to last, there cannot be anything which is fulfilling. You have to look at doing something else next time and hoping that this is what will fulfill, and keep finding that until you are able to create something which you really feel strong about.
Carrying forward legacy of jewelry brand, so where do you see yourself in next 10 years?
So the new part of the brand is a sub-brand called Tribe Amrapali. We are here at the Hyderabad airport, and we are growing very fast across the country, in various airports, various malls. I think that is the future. That is where because silver, I think, is going to become the new gold. It will be something which will be as precious as gold very soon with the kind of prices we are looking at. And I think there is a lot of potential for Tribe because I need small space, we need 400-500 square feet space, and we can open very fast in many locations. So I think for the legacy for the future would definitely be accessibility, not just accessibility by online, but offline accessibility for someone to come, touch, feel the jewelry which they want to buy, and for us to be able to make that happen for a client of tribe Amrapali in every part of the country.
Well, Tarang garu, what is that one food you like to have in Hyderabad whenever you came?
I have had the on the banana leaf. They give all the different thalis. There is Naga Arjun is a restaurant, and I have every time I would come, and I would love to have the fish and the rice and everything in Nagarjuna.
Well, Tarang garu, what is that one message you want to give the people who are interested in jewelry business?
The most important thing and the most important message would be that please keep your design, your mind original. Don't let your designing capability be affected by Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest. What the design teams today, including my design team, does is they take inspiration from social media. When you take inspiration from social media, you think you are designing something out of the box, but it is not, because you have taken a reference of a design. You are basically redesigning that design. So if I'm designing this flower and I already have the image of this flower, I will redesign this flower. I will not make a new flower from start. I think that is something which is very important, to keep your mind, cultivate your mind to not only take inspiration from such things or from other jewelry pieces, but take inspiration from nature, take inspiration from architecture, be original. Do not see what others are doing, because that influences your designing process.
Thank you so much, Tarang garu. I hope Hyderabad is treating you very well. Thank you so much again.
Yes, very well, and happy Dashera. Thank you.